The craziest relationship story I bet you've ever heard? Please read and comment. I've been on and off with this girl since college, roughly 8 years. She's now 28 and I'm going to be a 30-year-old man. Regardless of the status/technicality of our relationship, we have always been inseparable and best friends with amazing sex and fun. We still crave each other after 8 years. Even though it's been so long, we still feel like teenagers when we are together. About 5 years ago, we decided to move to Dublin, Ireland, for her to attend a graduate program. Long story short, I left my job and ran out of money within 5 months and was not able to get a visa. I also had a medical issue that needed to be attended to and could not get it checked out due to a non-visa status. I returned home and I broke up with her about 8 weeks later. To me, we just seemed to be in two completely different phases in our lives, and I thought once she came back, we would rekindle things. So anyway, I moved to Boston and she stayed in Ireland to finish her master's. She came home from time to time, and despite being broken up, we still hooked up numerous times. It got to the point where I was ready to commit. I did everything I could to make her happy and convince her to stay. Instead of returning to Ireland for a new job upon her graduation, she said no. I then told her it's over and deleted her from everything. Fast forward 5 months and she's crying on my front steps. She told me she made a mistake and was back for good. After a long conversation, I said the only way this could potentially work, because I was still in love with her, was that she move down the street from me and get a job in Boston. She did both within a month. I come to find out that she was engaged and had broken it off for me when we rekindled things. We were together for 2 years, traveled everywhere, and had the time of our lives. I took her on surprise vacations and did everything I possibly could for her. My biggest mistake was taking her for granted, and I promised to never do that again, so I showered her with love. Early last year, we were about to get a place together, but it was too expensive, and we decided to wait. I didn't think it was that big of a deal because she slept at my house 4 nights a week anyway, and there were no signs of issues. In August of last year, I took a trip up to Maine to see my family. She was supposed to come up and stay for a few days, but said she had to fly to South Carolina because her mom was sick. While her communication became spotty, she said she got chickenpox, never had them as a kid, and that was the reason she couldn't come back for a couple of months. She could always do remote work as well, so I believed her. She returned on Halloween weekend, and we had an amazing time together, and I was so happy to see her. Then she disappeared, and the communication, which I thought would improve, didn't. I went to her house down the street to confront her on this nonsense and come to find out she didn't live there anymore. She claimed she had to move home 2 hours away from me because now her dad was sick and her student loans kicked in and she couldn't afford where she lived and saw it as a good opportunity to help her dad. The reason she didn't tell me was that she was embarrassed and worried that I wouldn't understand. I was obviously floored, but was understanding eventually and just wanted her family to be well. Every time I asked to come see her, there was an excuse, and I knew something was up. I started doing research. I wouldn't believe what I found. She removed me from all social media and claimed she didn't have a Facebook or Instagram anymore. I got a couple of people I knew she didn't know to look her up. Boom! The reality, she moved back to Ireland in August of 2019 and was not actually sick, nor was her mother and father. I discovered a wedding page with her and obviously her fiancé, the same one she said she turned down, and that they were living together in Dublin with his family. The wedding is set for May, and guess who showed back up at my doorstep a couple of weeks ago? You guessed it. I played dumb, and we had an amazing time, which we always do. It doesn't matter the circumstances, we still can't get enough of each other. The last day she was here, I called her out on everything, and she started bawling and finally came clean. To her, it was the biggest mistake going back there and lying to me, but she said the main reason was because this person was a part of a great family, and she grew up poor, so it would be beneficial to all. Mostly coerced by her gold-digging family. She now says the wedding is not happening because she and her fiancé, or ex, literally called it off because they don't like each other anymore. And it's toxic due to the fact that she admitted she still is in love with me. She feels trapped in this horrible mistake and says she can't live without me. Her plan is to move back to Boston ASAP. I never thought I would be in this situation in a million years. I know what the right thing to do is. Cut her off and never talk to her again. but I fear I'll regret leaving her for the rest of my life. And no matter how good I have it with someone else eventually, I think I'll be living a lie since I left my soulmate. So I feel right now. I hate to admit, but I am still head over heels for this girl, and I am trying to justify that we both made mistakes. I left her in Ireland, then she left me for Ireland. But is this just too crazy to work, or do we both know this is forever now? How stupid am I for even considering giving us another try? Has anyone been through something this crazy? A week after I exposed everything, things went from heartbreaking to terrifying. At first, she kept trying to contact me nonstop. Missed calls, long emotional paragraphs, voice notes at 3 a.m. crying and begging me not to ruin her life. She kept saying the same thing over and over. Please don't tell anyone in Ireland. Please don't contact him. You don't understand how bad this will get. At first, I ignored it. I was emotionally exhausted. I honestly just wanted peace. But the more I pulled away, the more desperate she became. Then one night, I got a message from a random international number. At first, I thought it was spam, but when I opened it, my stomach dropped. It was him, the fiancé, the same guy she'd been secretly living with in Dublin. And somehow, he knew everything about me. My full name, where I worked, where I lived in Boston. The message simply said, "You need to stop contacting my future wife." Future wife? I just sat there staring at my phone in disbelief. Because according to her, the wedding was canceled. According to her, they were completely done. So why was this guy calling her his future wife? That's when I realized something horrifying. She was still lying. Even after getting caught, she was still playing both sides. I didn't respond immediately, but the messages kept coming. At first they sounded calm, almost fake polite. Then the threats started. He told me if I ever contacted her again, he'd make sure I regretted it. He said she showed him proof that I was obsessed with her and trying to ruin their relationship. That completely flipped my world upside down, because now I realized she wasn't just lying to me, she was lying to him too, telling both of us completely different stories, making herself the victim in every version. Then things got even crazier. A few days later, she called me crying hysterically. But this time, it felt different. Not sad, panicked. She admitted her fiancé found out she came to Boston to see me. Apparently, he went through her phone and discovered everything. The hotel photos, our messages, the calls, all of it. She said their house turned into complete chaos, screaming, fighting, threats. And then she said something that honestly sent chills down my spine. She told me, "If he loses me, he's going to come after you." At that point, I didn't even know what was real anymore. I started wondering if she was trying to manipulate me again, or if this situation had actually become dangerous. Then came the final straw. I got another message from the fiancé, except this time, attached to it were screenshots, private screenshots, messages between me and her that I thought nobody else had seen. And under the screenshots, he wrote, "She told me everything about you." That sentence hit me harder than anything else, because in that moment, I realized something painful. The woman I loved for almost a decade, the woman I thought was my soulmate, had turned my entire life into a game. She was telling him things about me, telling me things about him, keeping both of us emotionally hooked while she bounced between two completely different realities. And somehow, despite all of that, part of me still missed her. That's the part I'm most ashamed of admitting. Because even after the lies, the manipulation, the threats, I still kept thinking about the girl I met in college. The girl who made me feel alive. But I finally understood something. Sometimes the person you love the most is also the person capable of destroying you completely. And the hardest part isn't losing them. It's accepting that the version of them you fell in love with might have never been real at all.